according to his financial conditions and according to his score in engineering and GRE, where to apply, how to apply, why to apply in these three studies. Diploma and like that कुछ करता रहा और DGM रिटायर हुआ हूँ. DGM की पोस्ट से मैंने VRBA करीब 11 साल पहले भिलाई स्टील प्लांट के लिए मैंने काम किया है निकॉन में रह करके, और मैं एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट से जुड़ा रहा हूँ. जैसे वहाँ का रूटा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में मैं डीन एकेडमिक्स था. CIT छत्तीसगढ़ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी राजनांदगांव में मैं रीडर था मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट. एंड देन एक क्वेस्ट बिजनेस स्कूल का MBA कराता था, उसमें मैं डायरेक्टर रहा. अब 11 साल से खाली हूँ. मैं चाहूँगा कि अपने कॉलेज के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, अगर जो भिलाई स्टील प्लांट में ट्रेनिंग लेते हैं उनको कोऑर्डिनेट करना हो या उनको कोई गाइडेंस चाहिए. मैं इलाहाबाद नहीं आ पाऊँगा, वंस इन ए वाइल कभी आ सकता हूँ, रेगुलरली नहीं आ पाऊँगा. जो लोग यहाँ से ट्रेनिंग के लिए भिलाई जाना चाहते हैं, भिलाई जाएँ, भिलाई स्टील प्लांट में ट्रेनिंग लें. आई कैन कोऑर्डिनेट देयर एक्टिविटीज एंड I'll be available on email, whatever help they want, some suggestion, advice, I'll be able to. Thank you.
Electrical. And what I want to propose is that I'm also an advisor on board of Cornell Institute for Hospitality Education in Singapore. So what they have is Industry Institute Interactions, wherein what is happening in the industry is what is totally different from what they learn in college or universities. So they call people and experts from the industry and have their people from third year or final year. They have interactions with them, and this happens on a yearly basis. So they get to know what's happening in the industry. So today what is taught in the institute is not even relevant maybe to what they do when they get out of the institute. So that kind of interactions we must initiate, and I'm sure we can contribute over there. So that's what I would like to add. As to when people are graduating out, they have a lot of anxiety as to what would be the future, what would be the careers, which career options to choose, what are the seniors doing. They may have, so we could, as a institute could have an annual interaction, maybe as a part of the alumni convention, because I'm not meeting the students over here. In these 2 days, 3 days I'm here, we haven't got a chance to interact with these students, existing students. So, if the people who are passing out in final year, if they get to interact with us, maybe they have some questions about the future, where will they land up, wow, how we have fared so far, what are the learnings they can get from us. So that could essentially be a day's activity itself.
So an interaction session with the students is scheduled after the interaction with the administrators, and most of the students who want to interact here in the MPR, so we can interact with them.
I request all the students to come in the interaction also. I also request Dr. Tanuj Nandan, in charge training placement, to come on the dais, and Professor R.P. Jani, Dean Student Welfare, to come on the dais.
I'll also like to add that I'm more passionate about this institute because my father is also from this institute, and he's already written an article in this souvenir, Dr. Arun Shai. So he's also from the second batch, and so that's why.
So I would request the members that they can mail and provide an interaction session to the student for technical support or for mentoring.
Also, we can use our batch and for placements also.
So let me finish with the annual general body meeting. We will come to this fundraising and other contributions.
पाकिस्तान खुदा के पास क्यों जाए? खुदा को अगर जरूरत हो तो लैला बन के आ जाए. मैं आपके पास अगर शेर अच्छा लगा तो एक बार और सुनाता हूँ. मजनू पाकिस्तान खुदा के पास क्यों जाए? खुदा को अगर जरूरत हो तो लैला बन के आ जाए. तो अगर आपको इस टाइप की कोई जरूरत है, तो प्लीज मोस्ट वेलकम. बट पैसा क्यों लेते हैं भाई हमसे?
So if the members don't get offended, I am an alumni from IIT Kanpur.
Thank you.
So I would like to quote their
question here is,
one simple question. First of all, I would like to add on what Shahi has told. Of course, I am from ministry. I'm based in Dubai for the last 21 years, doing building automation, basically from the building automation side. I came to know about your activity maybe around 1 month back, or maybe 2 months back. And thanks to Mr. Our good friend Dinesh, we were quite well connected. Contribution is one part of it. We are ready to contribute, but we should know what is happening. Because if you tell me 1 month back that I want this much contribution, God bless you, nobody will do that. Because you have to involve us in the evolution of the process. Because if you tell me, and then we are talking of this, interactions, do you have any pipeline for that? Let us have some structure of that. Do you have anything? Now we discuss that this is what we are going to do. Can I have some pipeline from you? What you want to do? What we should do for you? We are ready to do for you. Honestly, I tell you my personal experience, and I think everybody will agree here, that when we literally did our engineering from this college, of course there has been tremendous contribution, and we definitely have a deepest gratitude towards that. But the thing is, when we went to industry, I think all of us will agree, from 1989 batch, there was a huge gap, huge gap. It was a shocker for us, because we did engineering, we did really in a good sort of academic atmosphere, but when we went out, there was a big difference. Because what we have studied, we couldn't use, we couldn't sell ourselves. So the purpose here is, in this commercial world, okay, you make good engineer, but if we are not able to sell ourselves properly, they are not good engineers. And I think it's very, very important for an institute like us and the type of alumni we have, that we should have a proper connect. If you tell me 5 lakhs, it's really great that you got so much. Because the way you have done, in 3 weeks you want us to contribute, nobody will contribute that. I think everybody will agree on this. Yes.
So I would like to add one point. Yesterday, we went to alumni office along with the coordinators of 1989 batch and have shown the pathetic condition.
But that pathetic condition, we are not responsible. Because if you have shown yesterday...
So why we are not responsible? We are alumni of...
No, let me tell you, we are alumni.
So we are the members, so we are responsible.
No, we are responsible to the extent what we know. If you don't inform us anything, sorry, we are not responsible.
No, please let me react to this. I appreciate that at least the material cost will be there. That's a gesture that I think we should show. At least no profit, no gain. Right. Second part, it's not the question of blaming each other. You look, that why the institute will tell you always what to do. Why? Isn't it your responsibility also to come forward with a proposal that this is the area in which we can help you? Others are doing like this. When the management institute was created in IIT Kharagpur, they approached IIT that we want to create a management school here. So it should be both ways, right? Let's not blame each other. That you have never asked me, what should you ask me? I told you that this MNIT has come a long way from regional colleges to MNIT now. If you talk of funds, we really don't have that type of fund. Sometimes some of the NITs are unable to spend the money which the government gives to NIT. That's another story. So money is not the thing. It is your willingness to help your amateur. Come with ideas. We can support, we can fund also from our own financial sources. We get huge number of projects these days. You are talking of UP Science and Technology. People are getting lots of funds today from DSC, DBT and other places. There's no doubt of fund today. We want to use your knowledge base. You help us, you are in the industry. Don't blame the institute that institute doesn't teach anything which is relevant to industry. And had you not been given anything to you, you may not be blessed with these high positions you are holding today. So let us not discuss that issue, but there are limitations of the universities. I know that the industrial facility, production line equipment, the institutes cannot have. And there is no point in having that also. But the knowledge we give you, that helps you to establish yourself in any kind of environment. That's important for us. So I appreciate if you approach with brilliant ideas, who will be finding is not important. We may find, you may also find. And that should be the idea. Let us come together. Let us not fight, make it ugly. Let's be positive, create a roadmap, and then do. That's my appeal to everyone. Thank you.
Is concerned, it's a timely process. Every 4 years we revisit the curriculum, we invite the experts from the industry and other institutes of repute. We have deliberations on 1 day or 2 days. Based on that, we frame the curriculum. Next thing, sir, please excuse me, माँ कभी बच्चे के पास जाके ये नहीं कहती है कि बेटा मुझे ही नहीं चाहिए। बच्चे का फर्ज बनता है कि माँ के पास जाए। जिस दिन माँ को बच्चे के पास जाने पड़ा, माँ के लिए सबसे खराब दिन वो हो। तो इस इंस्टीट्यूट आपकी माँ है। इंस्टीट्यूट को आपके पास नहीं जाना चाहिए कि आप क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या करेंगे। आपको आना चाहिए इंस्टीट्यूट के पास कि हम ये कर सकते हैं। Thank you.
This is Sanjay. I got a positive approach in terms of collaboratively working towards a solution rather than finding fault with each other. Therefore, from management or administration to alumni and alumni to administration, it has to be where there is a common ground, where we can work together and as a program. So I heard a lot of good things around in terms of individual alumni offering their expertise and service in terms of what they can do. It's one-to-one connect, and it's good that people are stepping up and trying to do that. But that has to move to a next level of programs. Therefore, if I'm looking at some people having expertise in preparing students for foreign universities or certain kind of job in the market, so that has to be a program which can be supported by experts, one or many, and college and administration has to come up in terms of creating a platform where all the students who want to do that can take the help of those subject matter experts, so to say, of providing that platform and getting benefit of that. That has to be translated into a program. Similarly, Industry Connect. So Industry Connect is, as what Kapila said, is a gap, and there's a frustration that's coming up. Therefore, you said mother and child. Child, when it is frustrated, cries, right? And will come and say, okay, there is no problem. But then mother also will understand that, okay, that's a teacher. So, therefore, but the father will be arrogant. He'll say, no, you have to come to me. The mother will not say that. A mother will understand what the why the child is having that and understand it and classify the child and bring him back. Before that has to come from both and not having standing on one side across the table. So that has to come where both administration understand that if there's a frustration, listen to it, fine, and go over it. They say, okay, ठीक है, समझ लिया, सुन लिया, अब बताओ क्या करें, आगे हम क्या करें, next step क्या करें? या रजनीश ने भी अभी क्या था जिसने presentation में talk में कि we have to come up in next 2 days as a start of a relationship which evolves into much bigger thing. We identify a few low-hanging fruits, have a set of programs, and have milestones, and what we want to achieve in small steps. We don't have to boil the ocean and change the whole world. We cannot do that. Again, the sir spoke about IIT, right? IITians get hugely much more just by association with IIT. Therefore, and they make much more money because they are much higher position. We are all successful, but most of the IITians are hugely much more successful. Therefore, for them to give back to the organization is a big deal. And also, I'm sure there are programs. Therefore, if I go to Wharton, if I go to Cornell, my daughter studies in US, in University of Massachusetts. Therefore, they have co-op programs where in the second year or third year, the students will go, they have Industry Connect, and they will, as part of their degree, they will work in the industry. So by the time they're ready to go to market, they have the experience to really easily get a job. See, I remember during our days, and I don't know if it has changed, we have this industry training program in the third year. Right? If there's a good industry connect, and you go out to industry, say I'm from Accenture, many of them are different companies, many of their own companies, and it's easy for them to take the students from here as your screening and give them the exposure and make them ready for market in terms of both of CVs as well as what is the gap which they need to bridge. For that we need to have a constructive discussion now and over a period of time, form separate groups headed by Dr. Chakravarti and assign different people, like an alumni cycling program, we assign something. For a similar program, we need to assign individuals who have the passion and want to lead, and then from there going. So I'm very positive, very certain that from next 2 days and after this we have 2 sessions lined up. So we should get into that and get into what we can do immediately next step, and then what will be our program next few years, or at least 1 year. So for that we can do, I think we would have made progress.
Okay, thank you sir for your suggestion. So
Anything? No, I disagree. This is not iCard. Let's put alumni peace. I disagree. We are not hungry, beggar on the street. We all alumni can afford to pay a suitable fees every year for remaining member of alumni. So why to ask 250 rupees nothing. So 250 rupees in iCard. No, sir. Just ask membership fees for alumni, which includes everything. iCard, function, everything. And I know in the institutes, other institutes around the world, global institutes, it's much more expensive. So, Dr. Chakravarti and sir, you are both right. Ask us. They are all capable to pay. None of them can say they can't pay you 500 rupees or 1000 rupees a year. As a rule, they can all pay. Ask them to pay. To remain member of alumni and give them iCard, which is included in the fees of alumni.
I would like to inform the members that
we tend to waste a lot of valuable time on insignificant issues, generally. So please, I think we should move on. Please decide and then just get on with it. I don't think, we can't be too much democratic about all these things. I mean, it's just 2 rupees. I mean, if you want to charge it, the rest okay. Just not, I think waste our value. We are getting together for after a long time. I think we should just discuss some very, very significant issues. Thank you. Sorry, but I don't want to
जो विजिबल हो, और विजिबल ऐसा कोई हो नहीं सकता जिसमें पैसा नहीं लगता हो, वो विजिबल नहीं होता। हम बहुत सारा भाषण देते हैं, मैं लगातार यहाँ आता हूँ, हर साल भाषण होते हैं, और ये प्रोग्राम केवल 25 से 60 वालों का होकर रह गया है, और बाकी का यहाँ पे कोई शामिल होना बड़ा मुश्किल है। होते ही मेरे बेंच का साइड में अकेला आ रहा हूँ, हर साल आ रहा हूँ। हम कहते हैं बहुत शुरुआत नहीं करते। एलुमनी लोग बात दें क्या, किसको दें? एग्जीक्यूटिव बॉडी, हर बार चुनाव होते हैं, उन्होंने किसी से भी कुछ भी कहा है कि भाई आप ये कीजिए, आप ये कीजिए, कोई प्लान दिया उनको? कोई प्लान नहीं दिया। एक छोटी सी बात सामने आती है कि आई कार्ड के लिए पैसे। मैं शुरुआत करता हूँ, आई कार्ड के लिए मैं 1100 रुपये दूंगा, 250 नहीं, मुझे आई कार्ड इशू करती है इंस्टीट्यूट में 1100 रुपये दूंगा। ये मेरी शुरुआत है। हम एक मिनिमम ऐसे डोनेशन डिसाइड कर सके आज तक कि भाई हर एक महीने इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए इतना तो मिनिमम देगा। कौन सा गरीब है यहाँ पे? हम यहाँ पढ़ने आते हैं, इस इंस्टीट्यूट को बनाने में हमारा योगदान क्या है? किसी ने इसमें योगदान दिया तभी ये इंस्टीट्यूट बना और हमें अवसर मिला। इस इंस्टीट्यूट को हम क्या दे सकते हैं? एक मिनिमम डेटा अभी तक हम नहीं कर सके। मेरे बारे में कुछ बताने में, मैं तो एक किसान का बेटा हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये जानता हूँ मेरे को अवसर नहीं मिलता अगर बड़े बड़े लोगों ने ये काम इंस्टीट्यूट को एस्टैब्लिश नहीं की होती। हम कितने लोग हैं, क्या हम एक छोटी सी इंस्टीट्यूट बनाए? 3 साल पहले की बात है, राजस्थान में गंगानगर में एक अग्रवाल जी, वहाँ की सरकार वो पॉलिटिक्स खेल रही थी कि भाई गंगानगर में मेडिकल कॉलेज बने नहीं बने। वो आदमी आ गया है, 100 करोड़ रुपया उन्होंने एडवांस में दे दिया कि गंगानगर में अगर आपको बनानी है मेडिकल, ये मेरे 100 करोड़ रुपए लीजिए साहब, एडवांस में दे दिए। बाद में
गवर्नमेंट ने स्वीकृति बाद में निकाली है, आपने एडवांस में तो कुछ दिया ही नहीं है। भाषण पे भाषण, भाषण पे भाषण, भाषण पे भाषण, न कोई तय करने वाला है न कोई शुरुआत करने वाला है। मेरे ख्याल से जब तक आप शुरुआत नहीं करोगे, शुरुआत करेंगे ना तो काम पूरा होगा। आपको ये तय नहीं कि आपको काम क्या करना है। थैंक यू सर, मुझे के लिए माफी चाहता हूँ।
Thank you, sir.
Recently, I have attended one program in NIT Rourkela, that is Industry Institute Relationship. That program, because I was working, my name is Mahendra Singh, I am working as a director in Shivasena Limited. So recently, I attended that program. Industry Institute Relationship, they have created one big place where some rooms are there. What they do is they call industries that you keep your 2 persons here and develop your research programs with the help of the institute, and in first year it will be free, and second year if you gain something, we will have a partnership. Then all facilities, library and faculties and other people will be at your, whichever help you want, you can get from there. I feel that a similar thing, if you started here, will be a great beneficial, and the alumni which have their industries, they can definitely start some, because there are many research programs at the individual level people cannot start, but at the institute level they can get a lot of help. So this is the one thing which is successfully started in NIT Rourkela, and we can look forward for similar program here also.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your suggestion. Put our expectations from alumni, and then we will listen from the alumni how can they contribute to the development of the institute. So one of the major concern of the students is placement and related problems. So about that, the in charge of placement cell, Dr. Tanuj Nandan, will brief you about this. Thank you.
These question slips that we have distributed or which are available with our volunteers. So anyone who wants to raise a question to the alumni can take a copy of these slips from these volunteers. All you need to do is put your name, your program and the year on this and submit it to us so that we can sequence your questions. Now about placement and training sir. Respected Director sir, respected Shukla sir, Tiwari sir, Mittal ji, Dr. Dharmendra. Ladies and gentlemen, I extend a warm welcome on behalf of Training and Placement Cell, and I thank you for being here. I know these 2 days are very, very precious for you, and that you have spared time to interact with us is worthy of our gratitude. I will keep it brief because we have a lot of business to conduct. But I will divide my talk into 2 parts. I will first introduce what we are as Training and Placement Department, what we do, what we have been doing in the past, and then I will use this opportunity to make an appeal to you. This Office of Training and Placement which we have, which we commonly call the TPO, has 2 faculty members who operate it. One is Professor Rajiv Tripathi from Electronics Department, and the second is myself, Tanuj Nandan from the School of Management. We have a fully functional placement cell. I hope that you have the opportunity to have a look. I welcome you in fact to come to our placement cell and have a look at the infrastructure we have. It is excellent infrastructure, the kind which is expected from an institute like ours. We also have a full complement of our own staff. And at the core of the activities of our placement cell is really a very dynamic and dedicated team of students that we have, which we call Team TPO for short. It's just our BTech, MBA, MCA, MSW students who work very, very hard with us. I just request these students, our Team TPO, to stand up for a moment, please. Thank you. This is just to appreciate the efforts that they put in. They do all the spade work for us. If you look at our placement office, it pretty much functions round the year. So 365 days a year we are open, and on many of these days we are also working 24 hours a day. So when you go to the office on busy days like we have this placement season which is going on right now, you will find some students, apart from ourselves, sitting there and doing work. And they help us line up placement opportunities. And I have with me a list of companies which I simply selected out of the list which visited us in 2014 and took students. I'm not going to call out the names because it's a very long list. But I would like to mention that all the names that we really think of are there. All the big names come to our campus and recruit, which is a very good thing for us. Also, I will come to the statistics of placements. Just I have a very brief statistics package for you. The important thing is, if you have gone around, you would have observed that we have really grown. In the past few years, we have grown, which is a very good thing. We have 12 academic departments, including the GIS cell. We have 9 undergraduate programs and 27 postgraduate programs. And we admit about something in excess of 900 students in the BTech program, 450 students plus in the MTech program, and about 225 students in MBA, MCA, MSW, MSc, all these programs. And of course, we have the PhD program, so going by current statistics, we would be admitting something like 100 students for the PhD program through 1 year. So what this means is, although it's very nice to grow, but for us in the placement and training office, the challenge now lies in numbers. It's not really in getting the right kind of companies to come. We have good companies that come and visit. It is the numbers. Because we look after the placement of about 1,300 students in 1 year, and we also cater to the internship requirements. So it's a very huge number for us. Last year, the number of students who were eligible for placement were 1,347. We had 990 placement offers, and through these offers, 801 students got placed from the campus. This would include a few pre-placement offers that they also get while they are doing their internship, but we managed to place 801 students out of 1,347. But what is of concern to me here is that still, although we are more than halfway there, we have a good number of students who are left over. And that is why I call it a numbers issue. And I would like to take this opportunity to make an appeal to you that in any way that you can contribute with placement opportunities that we have, any number is welcome. I make it a point to speak with the companies that come here. Recently we have had, in the recent past we have had Hero MotoCorp, we have Bajaj, we have had Reliance, and we take a kind of an exit interview. That's after they have conducted the placement process, we like to talk to them. And to differ with Vikasji, the feedback that we get is that most of our students are very, very good in the technical skills. They are really good and they are suited to the industry. Other areas we are taking care of, but still we need more people, more companies to visit our campus so that we can take this number closer to 100% of placements. And if anyone has any opportunities, I'll just give you our email IDs. Professor Rajiv Tripathi, very simple, RT, Rajiv Tripathi, RT, R for Rajiv, T for Tripathi, at mnnit.ac.in. My email, tanuj, T-A-N-U-J, at mnnit.ac.in, or simply mnnit.placements@gmail.com. I'll write it down and have it posted up somewhere. So in case any of you have any opportunities which are available for us, we would be most thankful. Yes, before I close, I would also like to mention the median package that our students have been getting. It's actually quite impressive. The median that we have worked out is in the range of something just above 6 lakh rupees. So for a student who is 22, 23 years of age, without experience, passing out into the industry and the scenario that has been existing, students commanding a package like this is a very decent sum for us, I believe. So I thank you for your time, and once again, I extend a welcome. Do visit us in the placement office if you get the time. Thank you all very much.
Narrated that the situation that is prevailing now in the institute, I thought that after this speech, there will be some hands raising and to help boosting further this placement. I know many of you are very blessed, but unfortunately I didn't see any hands. It's not only the placement, also the training part also. You can help in a big way for the internship of the students in industries. So yeah, at least. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't, I think what you are expecting is that we raise our hand and immediately do that. As I said, it will not happen like that. So for what we would need to do, if you are looking at recruitment, company coming to campus, for an industry relationship industry-institute relationship has to be built up, where 25 years. So obviously, what we are thinking is way back. Graduate students, engineering students, who we want as testers. If I can start a program over here, where the students will be trained in testing, and you can say, I offer this, and you can work with government or whatever agencies there in terms of funding them, and those guys are trained, and by the time they graduate out, they already have a job in the testing area. Or in quality. There's so many areas. I'm talking only from IT, but from engineering there will be many areas. So what is the need of the industry and how you build your, basically, you have another program where while these guys are doing engineering or also in their projects which they are doing, they take up those kind of projects which they can showcase which is relevant to industry and then they get immediately picked up. So how do I build a bridge from what they are studying right now to what the industry needs, what the gap is, and how it is covered to industry institute connect as well as companies investing in institutes, premier institutes like us in terms of building the capability. So I think that's step we need to, I don't know right now we can do it, but the dialogue has to start and a step has to come in. From Accenture I can give my name and you can do that, but that will not stop, it's only one to know. Therefore, you have to do a homework in terms of identifying all people who are in primary industries working over there with their email ID, just plain email ID, and then you shoot a cold calling.
No. Okay, thank you for your suggestion.
Here, I'm an entrepreneur, and I've had multiple companies over the last 25 years, and I disagree with Vikas. I learned a lot here. Okay, so out of the classroom, but still. Some practical suggestions would be coming out of what Sanjay was saying, that a very strong internship program, okay, that could help, because while all of us, for example, whether we work in a company or run something or whatever, while we may not be, the HR department of companies, so we don't really hire people, but almost everybody here has the ability to become interns, very easily. Okay, so I think your internship program, and if you run a very strong internship program, it does multiple things. It helps your students get closer and understand how industry works. It builds relationships between students and in those companies. It also builds the soft skills of students, which is usually a problem. I'm not sure, but I would suspect that of the 300, 400, 500 students who don't get placed, a significant proportion would have very poor soft skills. Okay? So I think, one is if you could reach out to all alumni, saying, hey, can you take interns? After first year, after second year, after third year. Why should they do training only after third year? After every year, why not? Okay, so I mean, just send them over, and they'll also earn some pocket money. Good for them. Second is soft skills. As alumni, what can we do to help this the institute build a strong soft skills program on the side for your students? A lot of us can volunteer in terms of time, maybe some money, Yeah, it's a soft skills, because I think that is a huge problem. It's both ways, right? Like what he says, we go and try to hire people, we don't get people. Getting good people is so difficult. Out of every 100 candidates from good engineering colleges, good management schools, who come and interview with us, we're able to hire 1 or 2. The rest are, in my mind, unemployable. You know, and very often the problem is in soft skills, not in technical skills. So, I mean, what can we do to sort of help there? I don't have solutions there, but I'm just putting that thought out there. The intern stuff is a solution. I think you should do that, it will help. And the entrepreneurship programs. If I look at my batch, and if I look at, I've got statistics from other colleges, the proportion of students who are going out and starting stuff on their own is not enough. It should be much more. So what can we do to help, run entrepreneurship programs here? To encourage students to go and start things on their own.
Somebody is in production engineering or biotech or whatever, for people from those areas, they are in the industry. And they can help in grooming those people. I agree with you that you have a curriculum which you need to teach and you are not going to be tailored on a particular industry. Okay, that's not an issue. But if they are the students are going to go back and be employed in the industry. Therefore, you cannot wish away the industry or needs of the industry. Therefore, you have to have some kind of relationship in addition to what you are teaching. It's not in isolation. And also, as GK said, in terms of entrepreneurship, if MNIT becomes a hub for innovation and through mentorship from industry, and if you identify some like green programs or similar such kind of rural projects which are relevant to rural development, outreach program. So what are they doing? Are they only studying to pass an exam? Or are they studying to build something, to create something and which is meaningful? So if I've done a project, do I even remember 10 years later what I've done? Or I've just got graded on that to pass my, get a degree. Therefore it has to become more than just getting a degree. It has to become where you're building something, you're learning something, you're enjoying it, and by the time you come out, you already have done something which if anywhere they interview, it looks meaningful. It looks you have achieved something, you have something really creative. And that doesn't have to be this or this. It has to be this and this. Therefore, it's academics and industry. It's not academic or industry. Therefore, whatever you are teaching over here is the backbone, the basics which you are teaching. But beyond that, if there is a gap between now and industry, that gap has to be bridged. If you are not bridging the gap or you are not listening to it, you will have this 300 extra students who cannot be employed. Because of one is soft skill, the soft skill can be identified earlier and can be fixed. By the time they go out, they don't fail because of soft skill. And if you are saying that there is not enough jobs in those particular industries, therefore it's the demand supply. Why are we creating so many engineers? I don't think I have a solution probably with government and ministry and quota and all that. That maybe you have to take up and understand that. Do we have more seats in area where there is more demand, or are we creating engineers who go out and have nothing to do, or we are not preparing them to do either in entrepreneurial area or in the job. Therefore, those are the serious things which we need to look at. Not just in a box area that this is so, this is what we have to do. That's my view,
Okay, one positive thing has come out of it is probably we can strengthen the internship program with the help.
Most of them can.
So let us not.
Mike, please give him mic.
Let us begin with 10, 15 people. Let us do it. Don't dilute it and generalize it and nothing will happen. So let us identify 10, 20 people who are ready to do it. Start it. So that next year we can hold it up. Let's begin.
I have my concrete suggestion, 45 years.
In France, the education system, the training is 3 times. After second year, the training is labor training. He will go and work as a laborer. It's 1 month training as a laborer in a industry. He will do the welder work and supervisor will supervise him. This is the case in France with institutes of higher level.
Second year, you will have 2 months training. And third year, he has a project training, which is part of the degree program, 3 months training. And in general, what happens in France is, the institute signs an agreement with the industry that this training can be in 2 parts. First part is 3 months, so that the boy can have the engineering degree, but the training can go up to 6 months or even 7 months. And what happens in France, I say, in fact, institutes in third year, which means the final year, takes students, industries, absorb students for 6 months training. After 3 months, first part of project is finished, and like that, he will get the degree. He will get the degree, but his training continues for 6 months. And if his work is suitable, then he is absorbed in the same industry.
I request all of us to be very, very precise. It's not good. I'm not saying we are in a very good position. The curriculum is such that we will not be able to accommodate those kind of things. And UK and France, they have this work experience and other things which are given real importance. And here, this training is not given that much importance in our country. So, scenario is a bit different here. It's not good, but we have to survive with what we are having. Maybe in long run, we can plan to have more rigorous training program in undergraduate. That will work out. But thank you for your suggestions and bringing it to the knowledge of all. So we'll identify some people. I said that you have circulated this, and I'll request all the members to be very, very precise. If you have any points to make it a precise point, please.
So I would like to differ further. So this is not limited to this day, and it should not be limited to this day. Alumni Association can be a facilitator for the interaction with the institute. So you can even email to us. We will send you suggestions.
Just 2 minutes actually, maybe. I fully agree. Now we talked about the interview and campus interviews and placement. And as was mentioned by the DPO that maybe who in the industry are they coming to the campus interview. Let's hear from the students. Are we missing with some of the companies which we want to visit for the campus interview? Let's be very objective. Let's find out the list, 5, 10. Let's scan the list of the alumni. Let's find whether those guys are in a position to get these companies in the campus. Let's be very focused. Today, let's decide that. Ask for the people sitting here. Scan the I think if by the end of the session, if you can, let's say, find out 5, 10 so those companies which these people think that they should visit and they're not listening, and everyone can help us. That's the best service we can do to our alma mater. I think let's do that. That's my suggestion.
Okay, so any student, please raise your hand, please.
Which haven't visited us and our alumni are working there. One example is Broadcom, Deloitte Consulting, Accenture itself is an example.
With reminders, but maybe 1 out of 20 there are some replies, and most of them like we are not hiring this year, or maybe like we will try our best. There's not much response like what we expect response from our alumni. There's not a big response that we are getting. It's like ground reality. There are so many of you are like we are discussing about our placements, but the ground reality is like after you guys move out of this campus. After you guys move out of the campus, people forget. We mail you, but there is no response coming to us.
Volkswagen, whose CEO is from our college also. So, what we can do is right now the training placement team can give you once again a list of all these colleges.
Bharti Hotel and many civil companies in the private sector are not visiting the campus. So I request all the alumni of civil engineering or any other civil company, core company, please help so that company visit our campus.
What is done with regard to BTech placement. When it comes to MTech, there are no companies hiring for the MTech final year student. When it comes to the particularly in core branch like from electronics, MTech electronics, there are no companies recruiting MTech graduates for the final year. So, in what way the alumni of this institution can help?
Management studies, adding to what friend from MTech said, we also don't have any alumni ways to reach to the alumni to get in place. So we also need some help from the alumni to get the internship as well as the placement of management students.
I work part of a large global software services firm, part of the management team there. So going back to the first question that was raised, are there enough companies coming here? I will personally make sure that if my company is not coming here in the last years, I'll make sure that we are there from next year onwards. So that's a personal commitment. Now, having said that, I think a lot of other colleagues of mine, alumni from the institute can help make sure that the process can be carried forward for other companies. I heard a lot of big names, but I think we should also look at the entire database of what's available there from technologies to industries. You will be surprised that there is a lot that everybody can find, especially if you start going through your alumni list. So I think the important thing is first build a good database of who is where. And that's a good starting point for all you guys. Second, in my field, I get involved in a lot of sales and marketing of my own company. We do a lot of research. We go behind individual CIOs, CEOs, find out where they came from, how they can actually help and make a connect. It's part of standard sales process today in every large organization. At the teaching office, SSS, we also start doing that. Do a lot of research behind the alumni. Rather than wasting your time sending tons and tons of emails, you can do a little bit more focus. I mean, if somebody approached me and said, hey, this company, you're not coming for the last 3 years, 50% chance that I would have responded, at least for the loyalty of my company. Now, while I'm hearing this, and I will definitely do this, I would have also, if I had a couple of guys reaching out to me, I probably would have reacted faster than just being here and doing this. So do some research. So alumni who are in top level positions out of your database, whom you think can help, be a little bit focused and approach them, and I'm sure as much as I am doing, others will be more than happy to do that.
Big applause for the current placement department which you guys are doing. It's a great work. Why I'm saying that because out of 1,300 students, 900 students have been placed. Because when we passed out in 1989, there were not much of engineering colleges. If you see the number of engineering colleges now in South, it could be 4 times than what we had. So the amount of engineers coming out is much more than what when we passed out in 1989. So the competition is very high. So the placement department has got a big challenge of placing you guys in the industry. With that challenge, if they place around 900 students, is a big achievement. I would like to give a big applause for the current placement department. What I would like to add, what Ravi said, don't just stop with what alumni. Go to the LinkedIn and other social networks and get across to all the other CEOs apart from alumni. I think there are lots of people who want you guys to join the industries and the limit is endless. That's all I would add. Thanks.
We tend to still hire from those 800 who are anyway getting hired. You still have a problem with the remaining 500, and I think it is a soft skills issue for a long time. So unless you attack that, by getting more companies into the campus, you are not going to be able to solve it.
Okay, so, and I would like to thank the administration, Director Professor Partha Chakravarti, who despite of his illness, attended almost all the sessions of this convention. I thank you, Professor R.P. Tiwari, Dean Student Welfare, and Dr. Tanuj Nandan, the official in charge, officiating officer in charge of the training and placement department. Thank you all. So we'll close this session and we'll start.
Can I take a minute, please? First, okay, I am Rajneesh, I am from 89 batch. You write, sir, attach, please find my CV. I am looking for a placement. Who will read that mail? You have to identify your potential first. You should know what Jeeks talked about, soft skills. Everybody is passed out, 80 people, 90 people, 100 boys and girls are passing out. Unless you realize what do you want. That's the difference. That's what we are talking and we are here to promote. And maybe with Professor Chakravarti's views, probably they have already launched this. You must know what you want to do. A mechanical engineer can do from repair to maintenance to designing to aerodynamics to aerofoil, interior designing. Hundreds of fields are there within mechanical engineering. But what we do normally, and not you, guys with 8 years, 10 years experience, say, sir, Rajneesh, sir, very nicely, we met you there, you are my 20 years senior, junior and all that, please find my CV. Now what do I do with that CV? We need so many of us. So please identify your potential, find out the niche. Each one of the human beings born has got something special. If you are really a serious student, find out what you want. Go ahead with that. Identify that this is my thing. I may not know, you may not know what is the job of a chief financial officer, what is the job of accounts officer. Okay, you don't know because probably you have not dealt. But within your limit, whatever you think you can do, do. Try this differently and probably the response from same alumni would be different. Maybe next year when we are here, we will hear something different. Thank you.
Mailing you the students' request as well, and I will request the alumni to mail if they are interested in delivering the expert task in providing the technical support, etc. So I thank once again our director, Professor Partha Chakravarti, for attending these sessions. And with these words, we will finish the session of Institute Interaction. Thank you.
Just joining the job and then giving it to someone.
I'm 48 and I still don't know what I do. I think all of us are always learning. Always learning. As long as you keep learning, as long as you're aware of things around you, you keep learning. You keep discovering new things. You keep wanting to do new things. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Why you are doing what you are doing?
No, on the other hand, what I would tell you is that if you're looking at, to add to what Rajneesh was saying earlier, that out of the 800 people he's saying got placed, I'm sure that 700 are going into the IT services industry, one way or the other, right? All of them are becoming programmers, coders. And you haven't seen anything yet. In the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see this wave of code automation and frameworks which eliminate the need for these armies of coders. So the software industry, I expect personally, that within the next 10 years is going to not need so many people at all. Okay, and there is going to be a lot of shedding. So what happens then? What do you do then? Okay, so see, we are right now at a space where technology and our lives are changing faster than ever before. This process is accelerating. So a lot of the things that we took for granted earlier are no longer true. And this is going to be even more of a trend as we go forward. So I would recommend that all of you spend a lot of time reading a lot, get a wider perspective. Okay, listen to more of what the thought leaders have to say globally in the areas of your interest, in the areas of your, what you study, and otherwise. Try to form firmer opinions about what exactly you would like to do by the time you're ready to go out into the world. I think that is important.
JK, I just add to the answer to the question, is that you need to really choose which line of business you want to go in. When you are put on board and you are sent to a customer will realize that you are a fresher. Whatever the training Deloitte gives, a practical experience, the customer will come to know that we don't have that, we lack the practical experience. So that's why you may not continue with the project where you are being placed. If this happens twice or thrice, you will get frustrated. That's why the switching from company to doing something else will come to your mind. So you really need to choose which company you want to join, which line of business you want to join. So that's more important. If you choose something good, for example, any consulting company, I think that's what will happen. That you'll end up doing something else. You won't be able to continue with that company. Then you will see your seniors got MBAs and they're doing well. Then you will think, okay, now I should do MBA. I should not be doing this company. Because also, when you're joining a consulting company, as a fresher, you will be joining at the bottom of the career profile. To grow into the top will take more time than a guy with a practical experience joining directly the consulting company. Then he will be taking over at least 6 to 7 years ahead of you. So you need to be very careful in choosing, particularly the consulting companies, in which positions you will be joining. I think most of my colleagues or my friends will agree to that. Maybe they will give more advice on that line. So that is specifically answering to your question, why people switch, they join and do something else. That could be one of the reasons.
Now may I request Kiran and Neeraj to join graduate, and now he is growing class. It has become special. Neeraj used to be a Magga, then a civil servant, and now he started his own company. I don't want them to introduce, but your questions they will take, and maybe like what Prasanna is adding or Jeeves added, they will also add to something. Maybe next question. Yeah, sure.
So some of our alumni can answer. This is from student Abhinav Kumar Yadav. Many students, including me, have the aim of qualifying civil services examination. Here the support by the faculties is very low and the atmosphere is not conducive. So I seek the support of alumni in achieving my aim, as it is said that it is a difficult aim. So I am pretty sure that a lot of civil servants.
Yes, Satyavir is here.
A very specific knowledge about particularly one of the brands, and that becomes perhaps the 30% of the entire syllabus what civil services requires. What you need is a very long perspective, long-term planning for civil services. Whoever wants, you have to have go through a quite wide variety of reading, and it has to be done quite early. If you maybe finish your BTech and after that you start, and by the time you do 1 or 2 attempts, you will feel frustrated. So the advice is, lot of extra reading has to be done for civil services, as you all know. In fact, you have to prepare a totally different subject of what you are reading here now at BTech level, and apart from that, general studies. So the 60 to 70% of the